Is Wassim Nasr, France 24's terrorism specialist. Wassim, what exactly happened and who were behind these killings?
Well, actually, you have to know that this is the first mass killing since the toppling of Assad 4 months ago, which is exceptional, knowing the weight of the civil war and 54 years of dictatorship. It is the first also coordinated attack by regime remnants, 81 attacks on 32 sites on the coastal area of Latakia. Among the targets were hospitals, police offices, checkpoints, etc., etc. But let's take it step by step. The person who's behind that is a person called Muqdad Ftiha, which he's a man of the regime. He is accused, and he filmed himself human rights abuses since 2012. And so he fled to the mountains when the regime fell. He addressed his own community, the Alawite community, in many videos, describing them as traitors since they accept the new regime, and even threatening them. So he's behind this, and it happened with ambushed convoys of the new forces, or the killing of policemen who were in faction in the Latakia area. We have footage of this. We'll see this is the ambush on the M4, which I went through myself. This is the old front line between Idlib and actually the Latakia area during the war. So those were the first ambush. We saw in the town of Tartus how it was prepared. You were going to see ammunition hidden behind shops in order to attack the new police authorities. So the idea behind those attacks was to create panic, and they succeeded. It started in very symbolic areas like Jabla and Banyas. We're going to see footage from Jabla where we see the Sunni majority being panicked by seeing former regime officers in the streets and asking for arms to defend itself. So this made the things complicated, where Sunni civilians took out arms against fellow Alawites, and we saw, like here we see them looting shops of Sunnis and Alawites, and we see, maybe we can hear it, the security officers of the new government shooting in the air in order to disperse the population by force. And we have footage also of Ras al-Nab'a in Banyas, where we see neighbors looting the homes of their neighbors and burning them and committing massacres, which were ignited actually by the actions of the remnants of the regime 2 days ago. So the maximum objective of those regime remnants was to hold on territory for a few days. They did not succeed. The minimum objective was to create turmoil and provoke those massacres, which they succeeded actually.
So what's been the response of the interim government in Syria and civil society as a result?
First of all, we have to know that there was a huge media campaign on social media mixing new footage of massacres with old footage of massacres which went all through the civil war, even massacres committed by Assad men and attributed today to the actually new government. And so Ahmad al-Shara is between two fires, if I may say so. He is accused by the most radicals in his ranks that because of the amnesty he did, like that you did an amnesty, we should have finished with them before, meaning the former regime soldiers, and this is your fault today. And the other side, which he's mostly on, which wants to turn the page, apply amnesties and judge the former officers of the regime. So it is a very difficult situation that he is facing, knowing that even some voices in his ranks asked for the liberation, for example, of radical jihadis which are still in his prisons in the Idlib region. What he did was a committee to investigate. In the committee you have 5 judges, 1 lawyer and 1 former colonel. They are not from his ranks, and 2 of them are Alawite. He made also a committee of discussion with the people of the Sahel area, the coastal area, meaning the Alawite, in order to have a direct line with the presidency. He even addressed those Alawites who find refuge in the Hmayhim Bay, Russian base. He sent them food. They did not want to talk to him. It's understandable regarding what happened, but he is trying his best actually to calm down the situation. And there is a response from Syrian civil society, meaning, for example, the churches of Latakia issued a communique back backing his efforts to calm down the turmoil. The Alawite representatives did so too, and also, for example, he called a historic opponent of the Assad regime, which is Alawite herself, living in France, and her name is Hanadi Zahlout, and he called her because 3 of her brothers got killed, even though she was an opponent to Assad, a historic opponent. And she admitted and she accepted, actually, to back this initiative to create a community and investigate.
So what is the reaction of the international community, Wassim?
Arab countries are backing the new authority, and they are not blaming him for what happened. They are asking him to investigate and find those who committed those acts, which he said, actually. He said that they're going to find them and judge them, those who overpassed the authority of the state, but also those who abused their position in the state, which is acknowledging that some of his men are actually responsible. And this had echo in the international community too, because even the United States, with Marco Rubio, asked him to find those implicated and to judge them. They do not accuse him directly, which is the case of France, Germany, and the EU too, which is very significant. But the story is not finished. They had turmoil in Mazzi last night. Mazzi is in Damascus, where troubles were, and you have footage of that, and trouble were, like former regime men are still trying to create turmoil. And we also have footage from the day before yesterday in Latakia, still, where outshooting sparked between former regime members and the actual government. So the only loser in Syria today is Iran, and Iran is trying to push the regime remnants who do not have a chance, actually, with the new government, in order to create turmoil and to find a new or a renewed, actually, foothold in Syria after losing this land.
Wassim, thank you so much for your analysis.